Hi. Okay, today I received in the post an anonymous letter. It's a two-page letter, typed, um, and somebody has obviously felt extremely angry, disturbed, um, so angry that they've gone to all the trouble of composing this letter, typing it on a computer, printing it out, printing out the address, and they put to the occupier so that the handwriting wouldn't obviously be found. I've actually rung up the police about this, and they're going to come and actually see if there's any DNA or fingerprints on it, but that's just because they do that stuff sometimes. Well, it surprised me that actually. But I think it prudent to try, so I'll keep holding it in just a couple of places. It's obviously been written to strip me down a peg or two. I'm going to read it to you. It took me by surprise, but just for a brief moment, because, my role in life is not to prove who I am, because I know who I am. So obviously I know who I am, I know who my children are and how we've been as a family, who I am, what my motives are, underlying. So because I'm secure in myself, I guess this is like a chain hate mail letter, if you're secure in yourself and you don't feel you have to prove who you are, then this kind of thing, whilst taking you by surprise, cannot diminish you, because you can't let it diminish you, because it's not based on any actual fact or truth, and you can read through it, and ego is a strange thing. We've all got egos, but ego can be a positive thing for self-confidence and for building up esteem, or ego can be a really terrible thing. I'm going to read this letter because I think it would be interesting to have your comments. For Sunny stroke Kelly, whichever persona you are today. This is not a letter, more of an observational document, so that you can really assess what those around you really think of you. It's not judgmental, but deals in fact and reality. Two traits you appear to be incapable of comprehending. Well, it's kind of like defeated its own words there, if it's not judgmental. Okay. The singer. Face the fact that whatever limited talent you once had is on the wane, and that you will have even less to offer in the future. Putting yourself through X Factor once again was both as misguided as it was a huge mistake. Didn't you once claim that X Factor was crap? So fake, so exploitative, so not about music or longevity, talent or creativity. I think I did actually. That said, you are so fragile mentally that it was a blessing that you were unable to go further into the selection than you did. So when the judges told you you should have been a star years ago, it was just a gentler way of saying that you were past your sell-by date. Amongst the stronger field in boot camp, you were almost certain not to cut it. Only you can decide what you can offer in the future, but joining forces with other rejects or has-beens is more likely to be doomed to fail. You may want to reconsider that plan. But then again, and here we are not being judgmental, you are so used to failure that one more to add to the list will probably go unheeded. As for auditioning for The Voice, exclamation mark, question mark, what? Try to learn from past mistakes and have some dignity and decorum. The mother. No one is ever going to question your value as a mother or the tragic road this has been for you, but you can't expect to survive by continually holding on to the past. Your kids have been taken away from you. Remember them by all means, but do it, please, in a more dignified and measured manner. The first one was born prematurely without much hope of survival, and his demise should be seen as a gentle release and blessing. Move on. Blake was unfortunate as he was approachable, but his future was never secure. Deal with it. Lucas never was born. You will never get the answers to the questions of where is the body, etc., because the stark truth of the matter is that the event would never be registered as a birth, and it would have been disposed of along with all the clinical waste. Once again, you need to move on. Your youngest son was a failure, a reflection on the whole family. You will just have to come to terms with that one. If the best you can do to remember your lost family is have a series of tattoos, then you are truly showing your seedier side. As you have shown many times in the past, there's no dignity, no decorum, no class. That just about sums you up, actually. That just leaves your poor daughter to pick her way through the trauma and mental angst that you were very, very selfishly bestowed upon her. Watch out for her very carefully, because both you and your mother both had physiological deficits and mental instability. It may be a family trait, possibly, and it has been passed on to your daughter. The last thing you want to deal with is visiting her in a mental institution, or worse still, the suicide ward. Bless. She is the last man standing, the future. Don't you think it worthy of personal sacrifice? Which just brings us on neatly to the person. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I did. It's so way off the kilter, isn't it? You yourself said you were a contradiction. I did. At least you got that part right. I did. Being on stage for most of your life has rubbed off as you continually require to be centre stage and in need of egotistical attention. That probably explains the longevity of the YouTube videos, which, if they were supposed to be self-help, failed miserably. You are under the delusion that the majority of people who view really care. They don't. They are there just for the spectacle and nothing more. For a more balanced view, you just have to look at the comments left by those for the Daily Mail article. 90% saw how it was, and if heeded back then, you could have saved yourself at least some modicum of dignity. If you don't know what you are, then you cannot hope to achieve your goals. You ask for truth, loyalty, love and honesty, but until you can give those in any future contact with those in the real world, you can't expect to receive them in return. Take a good long look at yourself. You can't reverse time, so you can deal with what you are now. Ask yourself, what has a person of your calibre got to offer? What can you contribute? What do you deserve? You have failed on so many levels, on so many occasions, that it is going to be a truly uphill struggle, and the likelihood is that you will be alone in this process. Good luck. You may not deserve it, but it will need a lot of it if you're going to find whatever it is you're looking for. This is purposely being kept anonymous and posted from a non-specific location. There is nothing here to respond to, other than for you to take note of the facts. Okay. First of all, I don't consider any of my children failures. I don't consider my daughter a basket case or in any danger of harming herself. Um, it has to be somebody who knows the information about me obviously well, because yes, I do always wonder what happened to the body of my stillborn child, Lucas. And I'm sorry, but whether it's a fetus or a baby, um, it's still viable, it's still there, it's still your child. It is a baby, it is a soul, it is something important to you. I do deal with the loss of my children. Yes, they do figure prominently in anniversaries and in my thoughts. You know, that's what you have to live with. You don't get over it, you live with it. As regards the X Factor, you would have had to be in that arena to hear the response to me as a singer. And when Gary Barlow said you should have been a star years ago, he really meant it. And confidence-wise, not ego-wise, I know I have something special. Comes from a good place inside and a lot of soul searching. You know, you have to suffer to be a good performer. And one thing I do know is that I'm a good performer. Whether I'm at the peak or not, that doesn't diminish me as a performer. And I had quite considerable talent. You don't achieve what I've achieved at the age of 55 and done the things I've done if you haven't been capable of doing your job. I don't have to prove that to myself, I know that. As regards my family situation as a mother, I have been a good mum. Life takes its toll, that's for sure. Dealing with it, I think I finally dealt with it last year. Maybe last year that letter would have crucified me, but unfortunately for the person who's written it, I have many true friends as well as many people all over the world, and unfortunately for that person, they don't really know just how many people the YouTube videos have helped. And if it's helped one single person, just one, then it's all been great and a good thing and worth it. It's actually helped more than one, and I'm very proud of that. I don't feel the need to prove myself, and that letter, I'm so sorry for that person. You know what? Dignity and decorum. Let me go back to this non-judgmental statement. Do you know, having personal courage and integrity is about owning your feelings, owning the truth, owning yourself. And for somebody who can write an anonymous letter and go to so much effort to hide who they are, I have to say you are a coward. You're just a coward. You haven't got the courage of your convictions. You can't hold your hand up and own your opinions. I would have been quite happy for you to have said, this is my opinion, this is what I think of you. I don't like you. I think you're this, that, or the other. Signed so-and-so. At least I could respect that, and I could respect you. I'm sorry, people might not agree with what I do, but then, hey, this is my life. My mother brought me up to be a lady, and I am a lady, believe me, where it counts. I don't need to prove that or feel the need to justify that. My daughter is a very capable mother, a capable person. Yes, we've had problems. Those problems have been as a result of some of the trauma that is abnormal to go through at a young age, that my children have gone through. And my son, my youngest son, and I'm not mentioning his name, he has never been a failure in my eyes. He has been misguided, he has been young, he has been manipulated, he has been groomed, he has been brainwashed, and he has been emotionally manipulated, and he may not realise that at the time. And I was poorly, you know. What makes the difference between what that letter says and the reality is I love my children, irrespective of what they do. My love is unconditional. I am a rock for my children, and when they need me, I will be there. And my door is always open for my children, and they are able to make their mistakes without me having to think they are a waste of time and space and irretrievably damaged. You know, everyone can turn their life around at any point. People always can come back, people can make decisions, people can have pivotal moments and do good. And I absolutely believe in the power of positive thinking and unconditional love, and that's what I give. My friends who know me know that I'm here for them. I am a rock. I do have my down moments. I am, hurt by what somebody I trusted and believed in and loved has done to me. But that doesn't mean I think they're a total bad person either. Naively, that might be, or it may be me being soft-hearted. But do you know what? I think I understand why they do the things they do, and I love them irrespective of that. Just because somebody can't cope, somebody can't be who they want to be, even because of a reason or reasons, doesn't make them worthless. And I'm sorry, but the person who wrote that letter, you have failed on so many levels as a person. You have failed to have any empathy or understanding or see the bigger picture. And as far as having dignity and decorum about having a tattoo, well, in last week's paper, the Prime Minister's wife had a wonderful tattoo on her ankle, and I'm sure she's a great lady with loads of grace and decorum. And, you know, for not being judgmental, that letter is incredibly small-minded and vindictive and vitriolic, and it says so much about you. I feel sorry for you, and I am not angry. I just don't feel anything about you at all. And the letter, it's laughable. And I'm sure most people that will watch this blog will just be as about it as I am. You know, I believe in my family. I believe in my skills as a mother. I still believe I have something to offer as a performer and a singer, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And do you know what? Failure is in the eyes of the person who perceives failure. I was a single parent bringing up my children very successfully till I had an accident. That's a success. You know, getting onto the X Factor boot camp at 54 is a success. You know, singing, being fun. And you know what? Yeah, time is going on. But, you know, no Botox, no Botox. This is me. This is natural. Losing 9¼ stone, that's a success. My daughter was round here last week. I was looking after my granddaughter. Building bridges happens when misunderstandings happen. Every family has those moments, and if you think they don't, you are way off kilter. All right? Families fall out, families make up, and when they don't, it's because the people involved have got a problem, not the people who are keeping trying. Failure is only failure when you consider it to be failure. Not having a success with something is only a learning curve. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try the next thing. Do you know what? I don't know what to say about that letter other than thank you for going to all that trouble and all that time to send me something that's made me think about these things. And all you've done is made me realise how I'm doing okay. I'm doing really well, and my family is okay. And you know, when things really hurt, you know, I have lots of friends that will support me. And constructive criticism, I've got no problems with constructive criticism, but your letter is not constructive. It is destructive. It is to destabilise, to diminish, and that's who you are, not me, all right? And if that hasn't been enough wisdom, how about let's finish off on something that isn't graceful, has no decorum. I hope your next shit's a hedgehog. Bye.